Hey everybody, Alice Cooper's new album's coming out. Welcome to Hog Panda. I'm Kelly at KELLYTHUL on Twitter and Instagram.
I don't. I'm Dr. Mike at Official Pagan and everything. I don't know how to respond to Kelly's introduction. So you guys should just like, subscribe, because I mean, obviously you want to see more of that. So make sure you guys like, subscribe, leave a couple of comments on this one. We'll interact with you. If you disagree with us, obviously you're wrong. So we're just going to tell you that. And while you're doing that, the only thing that's going to bring your blood pressure down from realizing your terrible, terrible mistakes in public for arguing with us is listening to some Hard Notes, the world's shortest podcast. It's right here on the Bog Panda YouTube channel. And you know what? You're going to feel stupid if you aren't wearing a Bog Panda t-shirt, because Bog Panda t-shirts are about to become famous.
That's right. You got to get ahead of the curve here. We're trying to help you out. You've got a huge opportunity.
We're telling you now, pick up those shirts.
Get them, especially that Bog Panda logo shirt. Tell you that's going places. So more on that eventually. And so, but we are the excitement was only mildly enhanced. I am very excited that something Mike and I have been talking about for some time. Alice Cooper has been working on a couple of albums. There's going to be one with the original band, which once again, Mike and I take credit for. We're the people.
We made that happen.
We made it happen, 100%. No question about it. Check the tape.
Alice Cooper Band, you guys are welcome.
Yeah, for you, our gift. So with his touring band, and then a second one that is still top secret, boxes in Mar-a-Lago kind of secret. I don't know. We can't hear about it. I don't know what's in it. But there'll be another one.
I think it was part of Hunter Biden's recent plea bargain.
Yeah. All the MP3s are on the laptop. So we got that to go. See, we see political too, even handed.
You get everything here. Everything.
Okay. Why would you go anywhere else? You shouldn't. You should only watch Fog Panda.
There's nothing else on YouTube today.
Nope. We're it. We're the only we're the only video published today, so you should probably watch us. But news has broken and broken hard in terms of tons and tons of information about Road, the first one of these two albums coming out. It's with the touring band. Shockingly enough, the kind of overarching theme, while not a concept album, is about being on the road. So that's, we've talked a little bit about that before. And we got the first single, got a chance to, you can go out and check that out on YouTube. After you're done watching a couple Bog Panda videos, you can go check it out. I'm Alice, and we're going to, I think, talk a little bit about the track listing and some of the packaging for pre-order. I believe August 25th is the day it comes out, but you can pre-order now. And Mike will fill you on some of those options here towards the end of the show. But let's just kind of roll through this track list here to start off. 13 tracks, so good serving of songs. Starting off with I'm Alice, the first single, the video that's out there. It is like a lot of the stuff for Detroit Stories. I'm gonna guess the same digital company was involved. So it's there's a lot of imagery tied to it, but it's not like a band in concert or live footage. It's animated, and the lyrics kind of come across, and it's a pretty interesting looking video, really well done. And I think a pretty good song. What was your reaction after listening to I'm Alice?
I really liked the song. It wasn't the same impact for me as when we heard the first track off of Paranormal. It wasn't that kind of an impact, but the reason is because this is the first song on the album, which makes perfect sense to me. Kelly and I are both first song guys and obviously huge Alice Cooper fans. But I think this is one of those instances where the first song acts as sort of like an introduction. And that's what it sounds like to me. And like Kelly said, this isn't being sold necessarily as like a concept album, but obviously there's a theme to it of being on the road. So this seems to kind of set that up. So it makes sense that this would be the first song that we would hear, but I almost don't even think of it as a song, because to me, it sounds like it's an introduction that's setting up what's about to come.
Yeah. And folks, believe it or not, what you're getting here is a preview of our full album review of Road, because you're getting, as an our first our review of the first track in all its glory, and then you'll get more of that once the album releases. We'll get our review. This, gosh, I'm gonna have to get my numbers right here. I believe, and the magical words that run across the bottom of the screen will correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it's the 29th release. If you kind of, shop out collections and all those types of things. It's the 29 release underneath the Alice Cooper moniker. That's with the original group and as a solo artist. And so you'll do a review like we do. We'll rank this like we always do. But yeah, I kind of agree with almost everything you've said there. This one's primarily or was brought to the group by Ryan Roxie. So this is tied in that spirit of all these songs. Tommy Hendrickson played a really big role. I'm super interested to see which of these songs Chuck Garrick is behind, and kind of drove
So
things
that
out.
Kelly can dream about punching him in the face.
No, so because I like me some Bisto Blanco, so a little bit of that flavor in there would be pretty cool. I liked this song. I didn't like it as much as I liked Social Debris. First time I heard it, it just clicked a little bit more. It's a cool song. The part that, and it's not that I dislike it because of it, but I think the problem with this being a single is this kind of preaches to the choir. It's very self-referential, which Alice does a lot. And if you're a big Alice fan, it's just like an Easter egg and it's candy. And the number of times that I'm guilty has shown up in different settings and songs is super cool and all of that. But he'll call back to different things quite a bit. You hear him mention Billion Dollar Baby and these types of things in other songs. And this has seemed like a lot of that in it. The deep cut for me is towards the very end of it. He goes into a very much special forces, you're a movie talk talk track towards the end, that kind of highly arrogant Alice thing, which I just love. You're a movie on special forces. So it's neat to get a little snippet of that. And then kind of the descending guitar riff in Elected, when you get kind of to that dang, 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 where it kind of comes down at the end of Elected of the song, you kind of get that guitar riff at the tail end of the song as well. So there's just like lots of Alice references packed into this one song, outside of very explicit references in the song about they hang me, they do all these different things, the riding crop, all that stuff kind of comes up. But so for us big Alice fans already, it's just awesome. But for someone kind of new to Alice, they're not gonna catch any of that.
Yeah, this you really articulated it well. Um, this doesn't feel like a single
Yeah,
in the
it seemed like a
sense,
really, yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, in the sense of a single being the song that you put out there to, cast the widest net to bring people into the album. It very much just feels like a preview of the album. And that's where it makes sense that this is the first song, because the song itself sounds like an introduction to the album. So it makes sense, especially in a digital world where, every song is available essentially as a single. Um, so that kind of makes sense. But yeah, this doesn't seem like a single in the traditional sense.
Yep. And then, moving on the track list. And so let's go with that. It's really just an introduction. And the next song is the first song, Welcome to the Show. I'm sure Alice was thinking, I did this before. I did it with Hello Hooray on my greatest album that I've ever done, Billion Dollar Babies. And so I should do something similar. So Welcome to the Show is very much probably in the spirit of Hello Hooray. So I'm looking forward to hearing that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to. Did you want me to take the next song, or do you want to read them all off? Or
You can take next song. We go back and forth.
I had to pull it up now in front of me. I was unprepared. The next song, which I was definitely prepared to read, was All Over the World. Again, sticking with the road theme, traveling.
Yep. Yeah, so it'll be good on that. And this is awesome too, because then I can mention the next song, uh, Dead Don't Dance. And so I explained with a little bit of fear earlier to say, hey, this is going to be an Alice group album, but Kane Roberts showed back up in the band, and sure hope Kane Roberts isn't there, because Kane Roberts is part of the criminal syndicate that put out Raise Your Fist and Yell. Just not my favorite Alice album. But he also was huge in Constrictor, and I really like Constrictor. So if we get Constrictor
He is
King,
on this.
yeah, well, he is. And Dead Can't Dance is his.
Mm.
He's he's partial contributor to that, I think, part of co-writer on it. So this will be good to see Kane. And I think it's kind of cool since he came back and played with the band that he gets to be part of this action too. So I thought that was pretty cool.
It also, so this one struck me. Of course, there's a band called Dead Can Dance. And there's a movie called Dance of the Dead as well. So I'm curious to see if this is pulling from anything or referencing anything else, or if it's just the title that they landed on. The next one is called Go Away, which I guess could be a road song.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if it's the family unit telling the performer to go away and go on tour, or whether it's the band telling a follower to go away, or what. What would be awesome, I don't think this was not called out as a cover, uh, but there's a Tony O'Kay song called Go Away, which is an excellent song. And I don't think it really fits into the theme of this album, but it's a great song, and I'd love to hear Alice do some Tony O'Kay. But I have a hunch that this "Go Away" is not that. But you should go listen to "Go Away" by Tony O'Kay, folks. It's a really cool song.
Sneaking in those recommendations there.
There you go.
You're the next one, sir.
Oh, I guess I do, don't I? Well, I'm gonna have to edit this bad boy a little bit.
I would just leave it the way it is.
So White Line Frankenstein. So reaching generation landslide levels is Frankenstein, making his third appearance in a title for Alice Cooper. Teenage Frankenstein, Feed My Frankenstein, and now White Line Frankenstein. And Tom Modello from Rage in the Machine and other things. He's played a big role here on the guitar, and I think was a co-writer as well. So I'm looking forward to hearing that to complete the Frankenstein trilogy for Alice.
I have a lot of thoughts on this, and I haven't even heard the song yet. I think we're overdoing the Frankenstein thing. Like Kelly said, this is the third Frankenstein song. Unless this somehow fits them together and it is like an actual trilogy, that would be cool. What would be cooler is if this is a song about Frankenstein's monster doing coke, which it could be. I think he means white lines on a road because of the road theme, but that could be a double entendre for coke.
Yeah, it could. I think it's more
So,
intended to be the trucker kind of
coke.
thing, but we'll see. Who knows?
Yeah, could be about coke. Frankenstein's monster on coke. Tell me that wouldn't be a great song. Tell me, sir, you can. Tom Morello's on it, which is interesting. So Tom Morello is an incredible guitar player. I don't know if you're a Rage Against the Machine fan at all.
No.
Just excellent guitar work. They're great musicians, really, really great band. At the same time, a part of me hates them a little bit. It's a band that I'm really torn on because they're very, 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 very political. And they're the band that I point to most of the time for why I don't like political music, because their politics very much overshines anything they've ever done musically. It's their entire identity, which is a shame because they're a really good band, but that's all anybody talks about. Even their fans, all they talk about is their political stuff. Also, the other part of what I hate about political music and why they're such a great example, they're a very like fight for the little guy, socialist, blue collar, working class image band. Except that they've never actually raged against the machine all that hard. They signed to a major label a couple months after forming the band, have only ever played giant corporate sponsored tours and things like that, have endorsement deals, all the kinds of stuff they speak out against when other people do. So they don't rage that hard against the machine. So I'm not saying they're lying. I'm just saying that whenever you make that your whole identity, there's bound to be a certain level of hypocrisy. It's just like in a movie where you create really, really stringent, finite rules and you back yourself into a corner with it, like Gremlins, for example. The Gremlins can't get wet, but they can stomp around in snow puddles and things like that. So when you make really strict rules about things, you're bound to end up looking stupid in the long run. And Rage Against the Machine looks stupid a lot, in my opinion. Great band, though. I know that seems contradictory, but I feel both things about them. I feel like they're a really great band, and Also, the perfect example of why you don't make politics the only thing you do. um, but yeah, I am excited to hear it. I'm really hoping it's just Tom Morello being awesome on guitar and Alice singing about Frankenstein's monster, just railing lines of blow.
We'll check back on Mike's prediction during the full album review.
We'll see how those predictions age in a couple months. Oh, that's right. I'm the next one. We're terrible at this. Or at least I am.
Oh,
Big
I suck
boots.
at it.
Big boots is the next one. I mean, I guess that's road oriented because you're walking, I guess.
Yeah, so read a little bit about it. Apparently, a hilarious song. So it's a funny song, and it full of a lot of double entendres. So maybe maybe the entendre game was a little lighter during White Line Frankenstein, but they're going to bring it for you in Big Boots. So like somewhere in there they talk about the waitress having big boots, or are they talking about her boots? Who knows? That's something to say about. So yeah, I was hoping we weren't kind of going into big balls ACDC territory. um, or I like big boots and I cannot lie. It's just I don't think either of those directions would be great for Alice, but it could be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, so I would say, and correct me if I'm wrong, but given the girth, it's probably not the best word for it in this scenario, but given the girth of Alice's discography, there's not a lot of like sexualized content in his songs. There's a handful of songs, but they're scattered across what is it, 29 albums now?
Yeah.
You had said so scattered across 29 albums. Like, sure, you could pick out 5 or 6 songs, but again, that's scattered over a couple hundred on 29 albums. So it's really a small sampling. So I don't think there's a lot of that kind of stuff in Alice's is discography. So part of me as a fan is just like, I don't know how that's gonna fall. But at the same time, when I do think back on those songs, I do think those are good songs. Like I don't think any of them don't land. Like there was how much do you want to have to send this episode?
I'll go right ahead. We'll see it. We'll see.
So there was a feud for a long time between Vanilla Ice and the band Two Live Crew, and their mutual friends, Insane Clown Posse, got them to come together and even do a song together called Swirl. That song, it's exactly what you think the song is about. There is no like clever double entendres there. It's exactly what it sounds like. And here's the thing with the Miami bass background of Vanilla Ice and Two Live Crew, they sound exactly like you would think they would sound on a song called that. It sounds exactly the way it's supposed to be. Insane Clown Posse is also on that song. And here's the weird thing about it, because they have a reputation for getting groupies and things like that. I don't believe it when they say it. Like it sounds weird and out of place. They're womanizing lyrics and stuff like that. I don't know what it is. Like I believe it when Vanilla Ice says it, when Two Live Crew says it, and I don't believe it from Insane Clown Posse, even though I know it's true. It just doesn't work well. So that's I think what I worry about with Alice on stuff, where it's just like that's just not how I think of Alice as an artist. So I do worry with double entendres, like, is it gonna land? Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, because I think there is, and you're right. He'll go into this territory sometimes super fleetingly in one song,
Mm.
or it's a couple songs out there where it's kind of playing a little harder into that. Um,
It's not a lot though, if you
no, but
take
there
in the
aren't really
category
very
as a
many.
whole. Yeah, the catalog as a whole, yeah.
No. So yeah, so it I mean, and Alice has done a wide variety of kind of tones and approaches, and there's a lot of times humor, but you'll also get something like Along Came a Spider, which will be uh fairly humor free and kind of just a rocker and those types of things. Dragontown, also not full of a lot of yucks. So there were a couple there. But the yeah, I'm with you because I just think we'll have to see though, and this
Yeah.
probably feels like that was it's one of the band members kind of was like, hey, this is kind of the song I got, and then Alice sizes it. And so,
That's an excellent point though too. This could be one that was written primarily by another band member or a concept that they brought in rather than what Alice brought. And like I said, that what's weird is when I think back on those songs where Alice kind of goes more into this territory, they aren't bad songs.
no.
So it's not like it's not fully like the Insane Clown Posse thing where I'm like, I don't believe it. So it's not, it doesn't not work for me. It's just kind of odd in the catalog as a whole.
Yeah. And we're making this, we got one article we read and we're doing a lot of theorizing.
We're just reading a track list and we're just making up.
We're doing a review on songs we haven't heard.
Yeah, we're reviewing songs we have not heard.
Which, yes, and so we'll move on to "Rules on the Road" as the next song, which is, from what I understand, it a very straightforward driver's education song. And so it is just, when you can pass, what the markings are for that, what the shapes of the street signs are, um, who has right of way, and these types of things. So I think it'll be both fun and educational. Or maybe it's different rules of the road. We'll have to see. We don't know.
We only have one rule when I go on the road. Since Kelly's already cutting stuff out. It's when you're on the road.
Yep, lots of cutting this episode.
Kelly knows. That brings us to our next song, The Big Goodbye. Your thoughts on the title of the song, sir?
Sounds like an awesome finishing move for a wrestler.
Does. Oh, yeah.
So that would be so there you go. You're welcome, WWE. Now we're giving you stuff.
The big goodbye.
Bring up the big goodbye.
So what I think is fun about this too, about speculating about what these songs could be, is that Alice does do a lot to kind of subvert expectations in songs and kind of go a lot of different ways with things. So it is fun kind of speculate on what these songs might be and then see what it is. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm dead on accurate about Frankenstein's monster doing coke.
Yeah, we'll see.
But otherwise, who knows? It could go anywhere.
So I think I'm next.
Yes.
Road Rats Forever. So Road Rats, if you go back and listen to, and you should, Mike and my review of every single Alice Cooper album, track by track, kind of like we're doing now, but we actually listened to the album before we reviewed it. So
we're just making this up, but
slightly richer.
The other ones, we listened to them first.
Yeah. But Road Rats so is on Lace and Whiskey. One of the few redeeming characteristics of Lace and Whiskey, I think. Possibly the strongest song on Lace and Whiskey. So I've always liked it. It suffered a little bit from the other production that kind of ran its way through. Mike has mentioned in the past, Welcome to My Nightmare felt pretty well scrubbed from a producing standpoint. Lace and Whiskey even, doesn't have kind of some of the snarl beneath it that Welcome to My Nightmare does to overcome that more sanitized production. And so it's not, even the rock songs on Lace and Whiskey don't have as much punch as later Alice stuff did, or earlier Alice stuff did. So Road Rats breaks through that pretty well, as much as anyone can on the Lace and Whiskey album. But it was then redone for the forgotten classic Roadie, starring Meatloaf. It was a pretty good version for that. They kind of beefed it up a little bit. But I'm gonna think now, with the rest of the touring band with him here, Road Rats Forever will really rock it. So I think this is going to be a strong track on the album.
I don't mind. So there was a thing that happened a little while back. I don't know if you remember, and it was some of these, I don't want to call them like classic rock or hard rock bands, but like legacy acts who've been around for a really long time, who were putting out songs that were basically reworked versions of old songs, but trying to pass them off as new songs. I don't mind if an artist revisits a concept or an older song and does something new with it, or makes a sequel to it, or spins it off in some sort of new direction. I don't mind that at all. I mind it when they pretend that it's a new song. And I'm thinking really specifically, I'm just going to call bands out: Van Halen, Aerosmith, and to a degree, Black Sabbath. all did this in like this like a 1 or 2 year period, like tried to pass off recycled stuff as new songs, like pulling riffs and even a few lyrics from old songs and just trying to repackage it and hope people didn't notice. I feel like Alice doesn't do that. I feel like he's self-referential and in a way that we expect as Alice fans, and occasionally like with this we'll revisit something or make a sequel to something, but you know what it is. He's not trying to pass this off as something else or pretend that this didn't happen before. So, I don't mind when he does stuff like this. And Lace and Whiskey, as Kelly kind of alluded to, I think I speak for both of us in saying we don't hate that album, but it's not one of our favorites.
That's fair.
So I really don't mind something off of that being revisited to see if we can get a better version of something. And I can't imagine it won't be a better version given how great this touring band is.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a song that's built for it. I think it's a song that's is great. And better than Generation Landslide 1981, which was the live but not live, hard to tell track that was tacked on the end of Special Forces, I guess, to because they had pulled "Look at You over there ripping the sawdust from my teddy bear" off which is a shame, off of Special Forces, but they did put on the version of Generation Landslide that there was a new set. There was one other chorus and another set of lyrics that they kind of ran past the chorus, but nowhere near the magic and power of Generation Landslide off of Alice's greatest album, Billion Dollar Babies. So I mentioned that before. I think I have. So, but looking forward to Road Rats Forever.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this song. I don't know if there's anything more to say about it before I actually hear it. The next song, it's my turn, right?
Yep.
Yeah, the next I'm super good at this. The next song is Baby Please Don't Go. Your thoughts, sir?
Uh, well, my in-depth analysis of this title is that it serves as a stark counterpoint to the earlier "Go Away." So I think these are a couplet that have been separated. They'd be on separate sides of the album, kind of showing that synergy. So
That would be cool. I kind of like that if this is tied into that, bringing that back around again.
the person, the family member telling them to go away on side one has realized the error of their ways, and now they're pleading with them not to go. So that could be a thing. I don't know, but again, when you think about the spirit of what was intended for this album, "Baby Please Don't Go," um, makes sense. I could see it. Um, and so then 100 More Miles, there was a little bit of discussion in the article I read about this, if this is a little bit more of the kind of homesick or I can't wait to get back home kind of thing. Kind of makes sense as you're getting towards the end of this album to kind of introduce that as a theme. Probably would have been the right song to end the album on if it tracks with what we need to go. But I'm glad it doesn't stop because I'm super excited about the next song. But this 100 More Miles, I expect, is kind of probably the closure of the heart and spirit of the road.
I imagine it's going to be, if not a power ballad, a song with a big kind of build up to it, very dramatic sounding, like those songs tend to be.
Yeah.
But that brings us to the last song, which Kelly is excited about, Magic Bus. And why are you excited, sir?
Because it's a cover. It's a cover of probably my second favorite band. It used to be my favorite, but then Pete Townsend really started to wear me out. And that's just like, you can't be my favorite band anymore. Joe Strummer's dead. Can't disappoint me anymore. I'm going with Joe. Go Clash. But so having the Alice Cooper do Who stuff is always kind of cool. We've done My Generation before and in live shows and all of that. I think Vampires do a little bit of Who stuff here and there. Hollywood Vampires do a little Who stuff here and there. I'm looking forward to this because again, in the article it talked about, yeah, everybody in the band loves this song, but we juiced it up a little bit. We made it, made it rock out a little bit more. And of the Who successful songs, Magic Bus did really well. not one of my favorite Who songs, actually. And so having having Alice fix it sounds awesome to me. To say, make me really love this song because I will need to. So I'm looking forward. So it's from a band I'm a big fan of. It's going to get the Alice Cooper treatment, which is I think going to really serve it well. So I'm very excited to hear it.
Yeah, I'm curious to hear it. I'm not as familiar with the Who as Kelly is. Obviously, we've covered Who stuff on here, which led me deeper down the Who rabbit hole, and became an even bigger fan from that. So I am curious to hear this. Um, you had mentioned about fixing it. I had recently posted something about someone fixing a song by covering it and got tons of hate. So hopefully that doesn't happen to Kelly.
And
I was
most
intentionally trolling people though when I did it because I chose a song that I knew was extremely divisive and said that they fixed it. But that's not all. That's not all that this album includes. We're also going to get a bonus Blu-ray and DVD of their Hellfest performance from 2022. And did you want to go track for track on this, or do you just want me to run them down real quick?
why don't you just run them down real quick?
All right. So we have Feed My Frankenstein, No More Mr. Nice Guy, Bed of Nails, Hey Stupid, Fallen in Love, Go Man Go, a Nita Strauss guitar solo, Roses on White Lace, I'm 18, Poison, Billion Dollar Babies, Black Widow Jam, Steven, Dead Babies, I Love the Dead, Escape, and School's Out.
And Black Widow jam on white bread, delicious. So you all need to try that out. That is one of the best when they turn the guitar army loose on the guitar riffs of Black Widow. They rock the stage. So that that set list is so saw Alice here very recently. That was one set list before it. Saw him on that tour too, because it has Roses on White Lace. Which if you need to, if you're listening to the album and you need to take a break, I'd recommend Roses on White Lace. Might be a good time to do it. Off of Raise Your Fist and Yell. Although Nita Strauss, huge fan of that song. So I just must be wrong there because she knows her stuff and she has the big guitar solo before it starts. So and has plenty of guitar work in it as well. So that'll be fun as well. There's different pre-orders, some pre-order options. There's actually a few. This is becoming a trend on things that Mike and I cover. Is that we start to talk about something and it's already sold out. Um, and so there's some pre-order stuff that's still available. There's a few things that are not. You want to hit maybe folks with a few of those highlights, Mike?
So of course there's the expected CD and DVD and CD and Blu-ray editions. And here's where I get furious. And Alice has done this with his last couple of releases and it pisses me off. This is something that I'm very very mad about. The vinyl editions only come with a bonus DVD, not the Blu-ray of the Hellfest concert. Makes zero sense to me. The vinyl editions are twice as much money as the CD version. Why does it come with the DVD instead of the Blu-ray? Makes no sense. I understand, I guess, from the perspective of they're just trying to make you buy two copies of it, or spring for the much more expensive box set edition, which clocks in at $90, which includes the vinyl, the Blu-ray, the CD, a bumper sticker, trucker hat, keychain, and something else. Let me see what that is. I thought I was ready for that. It is an air freshener. So that's what you get for the $90. Honestly, the $90 isn't too bad when you take into consideration it's like $40 for the vinyl. So if you look at it in that sense, if you bought the vinyl and CD so that you could get the Blu-ray with it, you're not far off. So you're at like $65 or something like that. So basically for your other, $25 that you're putting towards it, you're getting the trucker hat, the keychain, the stickers, and the air freshener. So if you want to look at it in that sense, I don't know if I'm going to drop $90. I think that might be a little bit too steep. One of the vinyl editions is already sold out, though. On the Alice Cooper website, they have 3 different vinyl editions. Your standard black, it's 180 gram vinyl, in case anybody's interested. 180 gram marble red vinyl, which is sold out. And then there's also a marbled orange, 180 gram. So the black and the marbled orange are still available.
Yep, I'll probably go with the CD Blu-ray combo to begin with, and then we'll see after that. But vinyl copy might be nice. I'm still, I'm going to have to continue to search. I have a theory that I need to hunt this person down at some point in time. But I used to have a Special Forces picture disc. It was an EP that had for Britain only. Who do you think we are? 7 and 7 is. And I don't recall what the last, probably Generation Land. I think it was Generation Landslide. Um,
Makes
on
sense.
a EP set, but it was Alice in his full Special Forces look, which was a very special look at that point in time. I had that, and that's obviously not good listening vinyl picture disc, but still pretty cool. But it's turned up missing for years, and somebody has it, and it's not me, and I've got to hunt that person down.
Do you have
A
any
former
suspects?
roommate. What's that?
Do you have any suspects?
My former roommate. My former roommate, who I think will deny it, but he's a big Alice Cooper fan too, and not above stealing my picture disc, I think. So we'll have to see on me. But not naming names, Kevin, but just so you know, so we'll see on that. But I'll have to hunt that down. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. Uh, looking forward to doing an actual review. It ended up being, we wanted to talk about the album. We were excited about it. I didn't really anticipate we were going to do a telepathic review of the album.
What happens?
It's a thing. So we'll see how often we were right. Mike's putting
Telling
down
you,
a
cocaine
big bet.
fueled Frankenstein's monster. It's coming.
We'll see.
Bog Panda.